Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in through the radio dial at WYAD 94.1 FM in Mississippi, or WYADonline.com, or through our friends online, thanks to iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcasts. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. We're excited to welcome back Joel Sartore to our program today. Joel is a conservationist, photographer, and author. He has two great books out that I had a chance to be able to pour over. They're PHOTO ARK Wonders, Celebrating Diversity in the Animal Kingdom, and PHOTO ARK ABC, an animal alphabet in poetry and pictures. We're going to talk to Joel not only about the new books, but also the work he's committed his life to. Joel, thank you so much again for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Great to be here, Cyrus.
So I love the way that you're able to take your various passions, as I mentioned, being a conservationist, being, a photographer, and then an author, and kind of bring them together, especially with the success of the PHOTO ARK series. Joel, what has that experience been like for you to be able to have captured these great images of the world and then to be able to put them in a way that all of us can enjoy it?
Well, I'm just glad people are paying attention, really. The goal of this isn't just to create a big archive, it's to actually lessen the extinction impact. We're on course to lose so many thousands of species. There's 1 million species at risk of extinction now. And we haven't even identified all the species, far from it. So I just want to get across the notion that it really is in humankind's interest to pay attention to what's going on in the natural world, because without these other species, we couldn't exist. So the mission is pretty serious, but we try to present it in a way that's entertaining and fun, and Wonders is an example of that, the Wonders book.
And you and I've talked about before, Joel, this is something that's been kind of, a part of you, who you are, since you were of a young age. Speaking of that, I love the fact, too, as I mentioned, with the PHOTO ARK ABC, you're able to capture that younger audience. Is it also your hope to be able to instill not only that love of wildlife in them, but also the importance of these animals in our lives, too?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the ABC book's designed to grab kids when they're young and get them to learn their alphabet, but also fall in love with animals, as I did. My parents had a book that was similar, but obviously from the 60s when I grew up, and it was really key in getting me to care. And they continue to provide me with books, and it's a big deal for people to form that habit young, so that they realize that there's more to life than just shopping and politics and sports. It's really important to try to realize that as these other species go away, so could we. And they need habitat. They need intact oceans and mountainsides, prairies. They need intact jungles. And these places where they live, those all help keep the world healthy in a way. Tropical rainforests provide us with the air we breathe, and they clean our air. They keep the planet cooler, but they also regulate the rain cycles in areas where we know how to grow crops. So it's very important for people to realize that we can't develop the whole planet and be okay. We can't kill off all the pollinating insects and be okay. We have to have this stuff so that we can thrive ourselves. That's what's behind all of this, and that's what drives this work.
I'm going to focus on something you mentioned earlier already in this conversation, Joel, and that was, the millions that might be, at risk if we don't change our course. I love the fact, then, with the PHOTO ARK Wonders, talking about diversity. We normally hear that word when it comes to speaking about us as humankind, but I love the fact that you're able to share that, it's not just one type of spider, right? It's not just one type of turtle, that there are different types, and there's so much diversity in the world. Talk to us about that and what that conversation has been like for you to be able to share.
Yeah, that's a great question, actually, Cyrus. I mean, to me, the power of the PHOTO ARK, now that we've got so many species, 12,000 now, and we keep going, is that we can see what all the minnows look like at a glance, or all the sparrows, or all the toads, the salamanders. We can see these things. We don't have every single minnow, but we've got enough now so that it could keep you busy for a while, just glancing at them when they're grouped together. And so that really shows what biodiversity is, and that's really what the Photo Ark is built for. We photograph tigers and giraffes for sure, but really the little things, the things that would have gone extinct without ever having their stories told, that's what really is interesting to me. And so for a lot of these animals, they've not been photographed well before. We also do video now for a project we call the Video Ark. They've never had video shot of them, certainly not in a way that you could ever find them. And a lot of them are just photographed as museum specimens, so they're dead. So we really love the chance to show people everything from insects to the smallest fish that live in muddy water to snails that live high up in trees or underground. These are all the things that the Photo Ark's built for, because without size comparison on these black and white backgrounds, they're all the same. So the mouse is the same size as an elephant. And I love that about this project, and that's really was in the back of my mind when we started it 15 years ago now.
And Joel, there are so many, even as I got an opportunity to get an early copy of the Photo Ark Wonders. Well, one of the things I thought about, too, is that a lot of these, if we're truly honest with ourselves, a lot of us have never heard of them before. Like, I had never heard of the chain cat shark before. Never would have known what that was. Never would have known about the striped Raphael catfish before. Is that also something that you're hearing, that without something like Photo Ark, what National Geographic is doing here, that a lot of us would not know about these different species of animals?
Yeah, and some of them I haven't even heard of, Cyrus, to be honest with you, but most I have. And I would say 75 or 80% of the animals that we photograph, they just haven't been covered before. They haven't been documented well before. There may be a blurry picture or two of them out there somewhere, but nothing really extensive, and certainly not not a lot of ways of finding it. So yeah, it's to me it's amazing that I meet new animals I'd never heard of every month, and they are fascinating and interesting, and you can see they're intelligent, they're beautiful, and to me they have a basic right to exist. And if we disregard them and throw them away, toss them into the vortex of extinction, to me that is just it's shocking and saddens me, So I just think this as a photographer and a guy who's been taking pictures since he was about 18 years old, this is what I can do to try to get the world to pay attention, that the bridge is out. If we keep driving down this road at breakneck speed, the bridge is out. This is hopefully we get more and more people as the project grows in popularity. We get more and more people to see that, what happens to these animals could happen to us. Really could.
Right. The book, Photo Ark Wonders, ends with this statement from National Geographic, Joel. The National Geographic Society is working to support the protection of at least 30% of the planet by 2030. It goes on to say the interaction between animals and their environments is the engine that keeps the planet healthy for us all. Together we can protect these places and the species that depend on them before it's too late. So it goes to the point you were making earlier. Yes, it's a beautiful book. Yes, the photographs are amazing. But talk to our audience about what you hope they're able to do after they experience something like this.
Sure. Another great question. You've done your homework, man. We have the ability, all of us, to make great change just in our consumer choices, for example. Do you buy poison to pour on your lawn at the local hardware store or big box home repair place? Cut it out. Don't do that anymore. Don't pour poison all over your lawn. It ends up in the groundwater. Every time it rains, it moves. That poison plume moves. I'm talking about weed killer. I'm talking about insect killer. I'm even talking about fertilizers. Don't pour this stuff all over your lawn. It's really bad for us. It's really, really bad for fish and frogs and things that live in the water. And think about this. Downstream, people are drinking that stuff. They are drinking the poisons you pour on your lawn. So and you're eliminating things like pollinating insects. We have to have those to bring us a lot of the fruits and vegetables we eat. So, I mean, if we were just able to make that change, to just get that word out, I mean, there are millions of acres of ornamental lawns in this country. That would be a huge thing. The other thing is know that every time you break out your purse or your wallet, you are saying to a retailer, I approve of this product. Do it again. Do it again and again. So if you are big into buying hardwood forest carved wood for furniture, for your furniture, don't. I mean, there really aren't any hardwoods that grow fast. And so this is a big problem if you're buying tropical forest hardwoods. If you're buying things made with palm oil, you have to really look hard and make sure that it's sustainable. These are things that take a little research. It's not that hard to do. It's easy to do. And what kind of food are you consuming? Do you eat a lot of meat? Well, that's not so good for the planet because meat it takes a lot of water and a lot of fossil fuel to make it. You know, just have you insulated your home well? That you can really save a lot of money. You can make money. Saving money is making money. If you just insulate your home really well, you stop all that money from going up and out the roof, as well as the carbon that it took to heat or cool your home. So there's a million just consumer choices you can do. It's not as sexy as going out and watching rhinos at a watering hole in Africa, but it's every bit as important.
Right. And that's why we always enjoy having you on, Joel. Again, everyone, Joel Sartore is our guest. He's a conservationist, photographer, and author. He's the creator of the PHOTO ARK series with National Geographic. The books we were talking about here were PHOTO ARK Wonders, Celebrating Diversity in the Animal Kingdom, and PHOTO ARK ABC, an animal alphabet in poetry and pictures. You can get them both through our friends at Amazon.com or through your favorite local bookstore. You all can be able to get them there as well. Joel, how can they stay connected with you in the work that you're doing?
People can go to natgeophotoark.org, or they can come directly to me at joelsartore.com. And if anybody's got any questions on things they can do to help make the world a better place, we have a lot of things that people can do just in terms of ideas, and happy to work with people and answer their questions. So joelsartore.com is a good place, too.
All right, Joel, thank you so much again. I really appreciate the time, and looking forward to our next conversation together.
Thanks very much, Cyrus. Appreciate it.
Always welcome. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.